It's official. It's spring.
Spring
Mark,
sprout.
Mark has the socks on, so it's official.
It's over 70, the top comes down, and well, the car top comes down.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. We're on. And welcome to the regular meeting of the East Lyme Board of Selectmen. Today is May 7th, 2014. If you'd like to join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I don't believe we have any additional agenda and consent calendar items. First item then on the agenda would be delegations. Would like to speak at public delegations? Mr. Sawicki?
William Sawicki, 425 Drostic Drive, Groton, Connecticut.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. And I'm a taxpayer in East Lyme. I'm going to ask you to bear with me. My computer, getting to be almost as old as I am, and wouldn't cooperate, and I couldn't print out this stuff big enough for me to comfortably read it. So I'm going to struggle through this. And when I make reference to a submittal, this is it, but I got to read it from this package that I'm going to submit. I hope I got this lined up right. I am here tonight, May 7, 2014, to present the continuation of events involving the Darrell Pond Plan, where I, as a lower income individual, must compete with higher income people for a share of an economic pie made from bond money and grant money. These ingredients are provided by taxpayers. This economic pie appears to be stored in the pantry that was designed to make access easier for higher income people who appear to have been entitled to a large share, if not all, of that economic pie. During the December 18th, 2013 Board of Selectmen meeting, I submitted an informal proposal as part of the Darrell Pond Plan for the town to buy my forested land located across the road from the pond. The impetus for this proposal was the article in the Day newspaper indicating the town was considering a proposal by a land trust involving a previous owner of 16 Monterey Road, also known as the Darrell Pond site. Public access to the pond and settlement of litigation appeared to be two issues of interest. My proposal was to resolve the access to the pond issue at a lower cost. On January 27th, 2014, I sent an email to Mr. Formica. A copy is in my submittal. Dear Sir, thank you for your positive reaction to my proposal and your request for specifics. During my presentation for the sale of my property, I made references to Chapter 822, specifically the easements and restrictions section of the Connecticut statutes. Prior to the development of my proposal, and in an effort to better understand what easements and restrictions are all about, excuse me, I studied the wording of the statutes and stumbled upon the revelation that I may have something to offer as an added incentive, since public access appeared to be an issue. It is my contention that I acquired something that may be called prescriptive easement, or whatever the easement is called, for recreational fishing involving Darrell Pond due to my non-permissive, continuous and uninterrupted use for over 15 years. distinctive from public use, and not required to prove constant or daily use. I am including this easement as a sales strategy for the sale of my property to the town of East Lyme, in what appears to allow public recreational fishing from the shores of Mostaway Road. The purchase price is $250,000, which is the price I used when I calculated the one-time cost of $31.25 for each of 8,000 homeowning taxpayers. Excuse me. Keeping in mind that all voters are not interested in recreation fishing, I am suggesting another benefit for voters who are interested in improving education for their children. My property is an ideal location for a wetland laboratory for science students to learn firsthand why and how wetlands are valuable and how they function as an ecosystem. They can study how different pollutants can cause changes in water quality at various locations in and around the wetlands. The study of soil types, the aquatic and plant life that contribute to the pollutant filtering system that controls water quality that enters our streams and rivers. This study may lead to discovery of new technology designed to improve the efficiency and productivity of our wetlands. There is ample space for parking and a wetland laboratory support facility across the road, including water and electricity and underground piping system to allow students to create controlled pollutants at the support facility and send it through the pipe into the wetland laboratory. Sincerely, William Sawicki. On January 27, 2014, I sent an email to Mr. Formica. A copy is in my submittal. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, boy. That's the one I just read. On January 7, 2014, I received a certified letter from the DEEP informing me that I owned the Darrell Pond Dam. A copy is in my submittal. I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's lengthy. It's 2 pages, but it starts off like this. Sent certified mail, return receipt accepted. William Sawicki, 425 Josick Drive, Groton, Connecticut, 06340. Regards, Darrell Pond Dam, East Lyme. Dam ID number 45002. Hazard Class B. Inspection frequency, 5 years. Last inspection date, 12/18/1985. Registered? No. Dear Dam owners, according to our records, you are the owner for the above referenced dam and are therefore being notified of your requirement under Section 4 of Public Act 13-197 to hire a professional engineer to perform a regulatory inspection of your dam during the 2014 calendar year. And it goes on to tell me about all the forms I got to fill out and all the things that I have to do, hire more engineers and make sure that I comply to Section 4, Section 5, and they state some other sections, 22A-6, parent, 3 parent, and another section, 22A, 6B1 through 15 of the regulations of Connecticut state agencies. Scary stuff for me. The best part, if you have any questions or feel you have received this notice in error, whether you are not the owner, the dam owner, or the dam has been inspected more recently than stated above, then please contact this office. Dam Safety Program staff may be reached at 860-424-3706 or email at deep.damsafety@ct.gov. Sincerely, Arthur P. Christian II, P.E., which I believe stands for Professional Engineer, Supervising Civil Engineer, Dam Safety Program, Inland Water Resources Division. After careful consideration and a preliminary search for facts, I sent the following email to DEEP and emailed a copy to the first Selectman of East Lyme on January 21st, 2014. A copy is in the submittal. Dear Sir, this email is in response to your letter of notification dated January 7th, 2014. Do your records contain the date I became an alleged owner or co-owner, and the date my alleged ownership or co-ownership became part of your records? If so, I would be most appreciative if you would please provide that information. That information is essential for my future response to your inquiry as to whether I feel I received this letter in error or whether I am not the owner. This revelation has led to a preliminary search for facts that indicate the town of East Lyme owns part of the dam, and I am confident their professional engineer is on top of things when it comes to dam safety. Thank you for your letter of notification and its revelation. Due diligence is essential for the well-being and the safety for people, pets, property, and the wildlife that live downstream from Darrell Pond. I recently submitted a proposal to the town of East Lyme for the purchase of my forested land. Should I become successful, I will have accomplished my quest to find a buyer who does not need to build and sell houses to recover their investment. To help get financing for this proposal to purchase, I am taking this opportunity to reach out for a helping hand from you and your employer, DEEP, who may have access to funds that are used as grants to help limit land development. I have little knowledge of the application process, or if grants are available to me as an individual with non-official status, but interested in the open space concept to limit land development financed through grants. Thank you for any help you can provide. Sincerely, William Sawicki. The following is an email I sent to Mr. Formica on January 21st, 2014. A copy is in the submittal. Dear Sir, this email is to share with you information that comes in the form of a letter of notification and revelation dated January 7, 2014, from the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection, also known as DEEP, that goes in part as follows. Dear dam owners, according to our records, you are owner for the above referenced dam and are therefore being notified of your requirement under Section 4 of Public Act 13-197 to hire a professional engineer to perform a regulatory inspection of your dam during the 2014 calendar year. The reference dam is, quote, Darrell Pond Dam, East Lyme, end quote. It is my contention that property known as 16 Mastery Road at one time consisted of land, Darrell Pond, and Darrell Pond Dam, owned as a unit that I viewed as a pristine farm business where corn was harvested from the land and ice was harvested from the pond, and pond water level was controlled by the dam. Today it appears this unit has been broken up and divided into parts with easements and restrictions by different owners. It is my contention this activity by different owners is potentially null and void due to the revelation that another owner is alleged to exist. I would be most appreciative if you would please share your view on this revelation. Sincerely, William Sawicki. Mr. Formica may have shared this view on this revelation, but my record indicates he did not share it with me. I am mindful of the fact that he may not have received my email. The same day, I received the following email from DEEP. A copy is in the submittal. On 3/25/14, I sent an email. Whoa. I gotta read it. All right. Okay. This is from the DEP on the same day. Dear Mr. Sawicki, this email is to inform you that we have corrected the ownership information for Darrell Pond Dam in East Lyme. You were mistakenly identified as a co-owner with the town of East Lyme. I apologize for the error. Regarding financing for the purpose of the land, the DEP, to my knowledge, does not provide grants or funding. The town of East Lyme would have to pursue some avenue of cost sharing with state of Connecticut, possibly the Department of Economic and Community Development, DECD, can provide some assistance. Sincerely, Ann Cusick, Civil Engineer 3, Dam Safety Section, Inland Water Resources Division. On 3/25/14, I sent an email to DEEP's engineer. A copy is in the submittal. Dear Mr. Arthur P. Christian, second professional engineer, thank you for arranging to have the email sent to me indicating that my co-ownership of the Darrell Pond Dam with the town of East Lyme has been corrected. That email lacked pertinent information and did not help me determine, based on facts, if I feel your certified letter was sent in error. In response to your certified letter, I included the following request. Do your records contain the date I became an alleged owner or co-owner, and the date my alleged ownership or co-ownership became part of your records? If so, I would be most appreciative if you would please provide that information. Since that information was not included in the emailed response, I must conclude that the requested information was not in your records. Therefore, I respectfully request for my records all the information that was in your records that was used to identify me as the owner of the dam. I respectfully request for my records the source of all that information that was in your records that was used to identify me as the owner of the dam. Also, I respectfully request for my records any additional information that became available, either written or verbal, received internally or externally, that was used to make the correction, or along with the source of that information. Thank you in advance. Sincerely, William Sawicki. Let the record show. DEEP has not responded to my request for the specific information in their records, and I am mindful of the fact they may not have received my emailed request for this essential information. In a newspaper article, there was the issue of public access to the pond, to which my proposal would lead to a lower cost for access to the pond. The newspaper article indicated the land trust proposal also may help settle the litigation issue. Apparently, the plaintiff in this litigation was a previous owner of 16 Mostaway Road, making business decisions, including but not limited to division of the pond's ownership, boundary, and attaching easements and restrictions on that property without my permission. Based on the premise that I was another owner of the land, the pond, and the dam at the time of this activity, that took place prior to the bank foreclosure, what role will this ownership issue play in the settlement of the litigation that was reported to involve $13 million? Does the certified letter from the DEEP serve as an asset or a liability that may prevent a successful outcome in my quest to sell my property to the town of East Lyme or to sell it to anyone else for the fair market price of $250,000 in the event East Lyme officials reject my proposal? The existence of this certified letter from the DEEP and its implication and potential ramifications may have compromised the validity of using prescriptive easement in my proposal as a selling point, and may have introduced another selling point to which the town may have an advantage in negotiated settlement and save more money than $250,000 as a result of owning my property. Okay. Long live democracy, fairness, and justice. You all have a good evening.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sawicki.
And this is my proposal. Do you want it to?
Did you wish to make that a
Yes.
part of the record?
Yes, I wish to make this as a part of the record.
Do you wish a copy of that, sir?
No, I have a copy.
Okay. If you wouldn't mind handing it to Karen over there, that'd be... And thank you very much. Someone else like to speak under public delegations? Mr. Bialowitz.
Sorry. Good evening, Mr. Famika and other board members.
Good evening, Mr. Bialowitz.
Long time haven't seen you. I've been quiet for a long time, but I got a little riled up a little bit on a few things.
Oh, we welcome your input at any time.
Huh?
We welcome your input anytime.
My name is John Bialowitz, Jr. of 61 Walnut Hill Road. I have some questions that I would like to have the Board of Selectmen get some answers to and their guidance on these matters. I phoned the town engineer a while back about the damage to the curbs on Walnut Hill Road from CLP trucks. He said, thank you for bringing this to my attention. And the other day, a crew from the highway department of the town were repairing the curbs. How is anybody right mind is the town involved with this, doing the work or held responsible for the damage? The job they did was worthless. They did a few spots, all the tire marks and the curb not fixed. The curbs that were pulled out from the road are not back in place and everything else. CLP should be held responsible for getting it fixed, or the solar farm should do it. They got away with a lot of things before, and this would be another thing that they're going to be getting away with. Let's get it fixed the right way, and before it's too late and everything else. Second, I would like to know why I'd like to know when CLP removes the poles, is all the dirt, stones going to be picked up and left the way it was before they started this project? And also, are they going to bring in loam and seed the areas disturbed? Because many of the poles were on people's property lines, and they had grass there, and now it's just nothing but dirt. I missed the last wetlands meeting, and it was my fault because I put it on the calendar the wrong day. Who is going to clean out my niece's and our stream that has silt in it from the solar farm? The stream starts at the solar farm. It never had silt before in it, and who's going to fix it? The solar farm, the body, or the town? I'm glad the wetlands gave the cease and desist to the solar farm. The order should not be lifted until all the abutting landowners and the problems fixed with this silt. Is this a situation going to disappear like all the other gifts the town gave to the solar farm to be built? The solar farm was supposed to be built within a few months. They kept saying December, January, and it's already June, and they're not even ready to light it up. And another thing is, the day that they're going to light it up, I'm not going to be around, because I went up there and the solar panels are all every which way. They're sort of trying to straighten them up, but it looks like a mess up there. And they did a very poor job up there. My last question is to do with the building inspector, Joe Smith. I got a building permit around June 2011 for a garage on our property. I submitted a plan, and Joe made his comments and requirements for the garage to be built under the code. He said that 3-inch washers were supposed to be placed on the anchor bolts are needed. H2.5A hurricane clips are needed, and strapping at the peak of the roof is needed. These 3 requirements needed to be done and to code. The strapping was done. The others, 3-inch washer and the H2.5A, not done. I'm having a little problem with the builder now about these items and other items he didn't finish because he walked off the job. The building inspector is now saying that these items are not needed, and he is fine with the job now. And I would like to ask Mr. Nickerson a question. Since you're in the insurance business, you could probably answer this.
Beautiful.
You know I can't answer during public delegation.
Oh, okay.
I can refer to it later.
Oh,
All right.
should I read it then, or just
Yeah.
skip
I'll write
it?
it.
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I have a friend in New Jersey that had a problem with a building that they had, and it blew down, during a hurricane. And the builder did not put all these straps on and all this, and when he tried to file a claim for insurance, they denied him because the insurance claim adjuster noticed that it was not built to code at that time. And it was like about maybe another 4 years or so later. And so they denied his claim, and he's got an attorney fighting it now because, So, and that's one problem with that. And I'm not going to go into all the other details, but I asked, since that I heard about that insurance fiasco, I asked Joe Smith, since he said they're not needed and he's fine with the way the job is now, I asked him for a letter from the town stating what he said and agreed to it for my garage. He said he wouldn't write the letter, and since lawyers